Welcome back, everybody. It's Mr. Scary Muffin once again. We are looking at the snapshot, and I've got something a little bit different. It's also an automated thing. Got nothing in these chests just yet, but I'll show you guys what it is. It looks really crazy. That's just because I didn't bother with spaces and stuff like that. If we split these up into individual compartments, it's actually a very simple chicken cooker. So let's go from the top, and I'll explain what each of these parts does. So here's the chicken breeder. I put about 30 chickens in there. Some things you guys want to know about them chickens is that a chicken lays approximately one egg every 7.5 minutes, and of those eggs it lays, there goes a couple of eggs. Of those eggs it lays, 1 in 8 will hatch a chicken. So each one of these chickens will produce another chicken every hour or so. So I wanted to reduce the time of that. So I put 30 chickens in here, so that means we'll get a chicken every 2 minutes or so, if that is the goal. I basically, because of the way hoppers can only hold 5 items at a time, I put a chest in between the hopper into the dispenser. That way I could store a little bit more, I could buffer a little bit more in between. Alright, so what we got here is a comparator, and underneath is a torch, and the torch is being powered by this circuit, and this is shutting it off. If this goes off, then that torch will turn on and the comparator will rapidly update itself, and then that will cause the dispenser to fire all these eggs into this tube. And when this torch turns back on, it will stop that one, and the comparator will stop updating, and the dispenser will stop firing. Alright, we'll ignore this stuff, we'll go over that later. So the dispenser fires a lot of eggs into the tube, and the chickens fall down in here into another collection pen for them. And these are the chickens that we're going to be cooking. The dispenser over here has a nice little bucket of lava, a bucket of love for the chickens. And once they're grown, these chickens will be cooked, and they will drop a delicious meat and feathers and other stuff down here, and the ice just makes the water go a little bit faster. The ice also allows me to use a half slab instead of a sign or a drop down to connect these water things, and it will funnel them into these hoppers, which will deliver them into these 3 chests. And you notice that I had a little bit of a lag there as I move in and out of the zone where you can hear the chicken footsteps, and this is a known glitch, as you see right here as I like that. Whenever you enter and leave the area where you can hear the chickens, you will get a little bit of a lag spike, and the easy thing to do to fix that is simply just to turn off your sound, and your computer will no longer do a sound check, and you will no longer get that lag spike. The other thing you might want to do is you might want to set up your chicken pens far away from enough. I believe 16 blocks is enough distance. So if you guys leave the hearing zone of the chickens and put it way behind the scene, but still within the chunk so that you're loading it, then you won't get this lag spike ever. And just build a nice little wall around it so that you never have to enter that sound buffering zone, but you can still leave your sound on. Okay, so basically if you leave just the breeder alone, you can manually start up the comparator and fire the chicken eggs, and then when the chickens are grown, you can manually fire the dispenser and cook the chickens and have them collect. But the nice bonus of making this fully automated is that we can just come here at any time and there'll be chicken loaded up, and basically what happens is that this thing will keep on cycling through itself over and over again while we're doing other things in the place, and we don't have to come over here and maintain it. We just have to come by to the chest and grab the food, the yummies. The big problem, of course, is that we can't just simply cook the chickens as soon as they hatch out of the eggs, because they need to grow up first before they give us stuff. A little baby chick, takes about 15 minutes to grow up. So what I've done is I've set up a timer over here, and this timer is for 20 minutes because they have an average growing time of 15 minutes. I'm going to give them a little bit more time to grow up so that we're not wasting any chickens. And basically what happens is this dispenser will fire an item, and that will trigger this torch off. But this dispenser won't fire until the item that's here despawns, and it takes about 5 minutes to despawn the item. So 5 minutes later this item will despawn, the torch will turn back on, fire this dispenser, and that will repeat over and over, 4 times over, right? So 1, 2, 3. I need to add one more. Okay, so this is a 15-minute timer right now, but one more will make it a 20-minute timer. And what happens is this final dispenser will shoot this item, and it will trigger this piston over here. And this piston acts as a pulse. Basically, even though this pressure plate will be held down, this piston will only send a signal briefly, and then the piston will hold the block up in the air until that signal dies, so that this signal from that last dispenser only fires once. It only goes once throughout the whole circuit. It also resets itself. It goes all the way back to the beginning and back to the first one, and starts the timer once again. So the timer goes around by itself over and over again. The only thing you'll have to do as maintenance is to refill the items. I'm using nether wart here because I've got a lot of nether wart in, well, I got a lot of everything. I'm in creative, but most likely you'll end up using something like gravel. I don't know. I think melons would be a good thing too. Anything you can make a lot of. Seeds. Everybody has way lots of wheat seeds. All right. So over here we've got a couple of things. I'm going to go over this one here first because this is a lot easier to handle. I already explained the comparator, and basically what we have here is a RS NOR latch circuit. It's going to receive power through these wires, and it's going to power off this torch, which will power on this torch and keep itself on up until this long delay circuit turns itself back off. Alright, so this torch is going to turn off, this torch will turn on, and that will cause this thing to fire up until that clock resets itself. And that's basically a nice and simple reset circuit. If you guys ever made a crusher for like a spider grinder, it is exactly the same kind of thing. So that's how that part works. And very important to note is that you do need a repeater to feed into this area. Otherwise, when this torch turns on, it will feed back into your entire circuit. So you do need to have repeaters on both sides, just so that it doesn't feed back into the circuit itself. Okay, so over here we have a very interesting doohickey here. Basically, this torch goes into the dispenser, and it will cause the dispenser to shoot out the lava. However, if the lava stays in the water, it's going to convert all that water into smooth stone, and we don't want that. So what's going to happen is that this will just pulse on once. We needed to update it a second time, and that's what this torch over here is for. It doesn't connect up to the dispenser itself, but it is connected over, and it will just simply cause the dispenser to update an extra time. So it will get updated by one of these things and cause the lava to shoot out, and then I have this repeater set here, so then it will update it a split second later and pull the lava back in, and that will cause it to do that double update, which is what you want for the dispenser, so the lava doesn't stay out too long. And I wonder how long this is going to take to dispense, but it should fire very briefly, very soon actually. I have a button over there set up so that we can also do a test flow. I do have the timer incorrect. I do need to add one more dispenser. So these chickens haven't quite grown up yet. Poor guys. Always cut off in the prime. Before the prime, actually. I'm feeling impatient. I actually wanna push the button. I wanna go get them. I wanna get them. But yes, so this is the basic idea of it. It's very simple if you build it in little parts. But I do want to show you guys it firing at least one time. So we'll just sit here and we will look. We'll watch patiently. How are you guys doing? Myself, I'm doing fine. Having a good time. I love the hoppers. There it goes. Alright, so the chickens didn't get a chance to grow up yet, but you saw the lava pops out, kills them pretty quick, and the comparator fires a bunch of eggs out. Basically what we'll need to do to adjust this timer is we just need to add another dispenser thing here. The timer is already restarted, and the other thing we need to do is have a much longer clock circuit here so that it can fire all the eggs in the dispenser. You can see it's already filled up again right away. So we just need a much longer clock. Some sort of delay circuit would be great, and that would just get it to turn itself off at a much longer time. Alright, well, thanks for watching, guys. My name is Mr. Scary Muffin. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, do leave a comment. I love reading comments. It's my favorite thing about doing this, is reading what people say, even the jerkwads. You can leave a mean comment. I don't mind. It's okay. I can take it. I'm a big boy. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao!